Hey, what's going on, guys? It is FoxCity98 here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 career mode for you guys today here on the channel. Today we are here for another episode of my F1 2019 career mode. I think I already said that already. That was a really bad intro. But anyway, we're here for round number 20, which is the Brazilian Grand Prix. And as you can see, I'm just kind of scrolling through the R&D tree, seeing if anyone has made any upgrades on their cars. And just to try and see where I'm at in terms of the R&D tree. As a lot of my competitors are now upgrading quite heavily, as I obviously am looking in towards next season now. So, yeah, it's going to get a little bit tough in these final few races. We've just got to give it everything we've got. In towards Q1 then, and overall, in terms of the performance of the car itself, I really wasn't happy with the car. It just wasn't working for me. I mean, my gearbox on 75% anyway. But something wasn't right. Just couldn't quite get the car to just bite into the circuit. It just didn't have any balance. I was having a mixture of understeer in some corners. I was getting oversteer in some other corners. And it just wasn't working out. But into Q1 here, this is my final run now to try and get me in towards Q2. We drop down in towards second gear here. We lose a couple of tenths, but we gain it all back. But then, unfortunately, the classic Foxy spin in qualifying comes back once again, I think for about the 600th time now. Just a replay, just drops it on the exit there. I go straight into the wall. And yeah, I just can't get enough of spinning my car in quali. I feel like Sebastian Vettel in the Grand Prix. But I think Lando Norris there just about scraped through in towards Q2, which is good for him. Bad news for us, though. We're not there. And it's going to be a tough race. It's going to be similar to Japan. Pace is not good. So, yeah, it's going to be a dry race. Let's get into it and see how we can get on for the Brazilian Grand Prix. I do change the gearbox as well because it was on 75%. Didn't realise that. Gearbox number 7 coming my way. Like I said, I'll take as many engine and gearbox penalties whilst my car is really not competitive. Whilst I'm doing that as well, I'm also going to apply a fresh engine. I still had one brand new engine spare, so I'm going to go ahead and apply that to my car. Try and give myself the best possible performance in this race and try and just see if I can get anything from it. So let's have a look at the race then for the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Where there's a will, well, there's a way. And nowhere has that fact been better demonstrated over the years than here at Interlagos. Remember Senna winning while fighting a gearbox that was jammed in 6th? 5 Drivers' Championship deciders in a row between 2005 and 2009. And of course, the passionate Brazilian fans packing the grandstands to capacity every year. And they're not about to stop now. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. 2 very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junção into one of the 2 DRS zones will be the key to any overtaking prospect today. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Let's talk about Thomas. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs, so it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Sergio Perez and Leclerc. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Gasly, Sainz, Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen. Butler, Weber, Antonio Giovinazzi and Raikkonen. Thomas, Albon, Robert Kubica and George Russell. Norris and Nico Hülkenberg completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, so we're on the starting grid then for this Brazilian Grand Prix. And as you can see, having a look at the strategy, it's going to be 2 sets of soft tyres and then traversing to a medium tyre for the end of the race. What I decided to do is I actually decided that I'm going to use my medium tyre, I'll do my medium tyre stint, at the start of the race and then use my soft tyres at the end, where the car will be lighter and I can just overall, hopefully, be a little bit faster. That's the plan, so we're going to roll with this. Anyway, here we are then on the grid. 5 place grid penalty for a component change. I actually qualified 1 place higher than where I actually initially qualified, so it's lights out. Where we go for some more Formula 1 2019 career mode logic with me actually getting higher than where I qualified, even when I had a penalty. Speaking of that, though, we get a massive whack there from one of the Williams cars in towards the first corner there. Literally no space. I think it was Kubica, actually, and a massive hit there on the front tyre. Luckily, we're not out of the Grand Prix after 1 corner, but we carry on our way. That's Hamilton that leads the race ahead of Vettel then. So Lewis getting off to a good start straight away as we're trying to battle with one of the Toro Rosso cars there. I think it's Alex Albon. And after getting whacked by the Williams, I ain't letting anyone come anywhere near me. It's also one of the Renault cars there is also further back. So there must have been a couple of grid penalties then for some other cars, which promoted me up quite high then as we now go down the inside and a real big back end and a whack there again from that Williams car. I mean, on that occasion, we lost the back end of the car, but once again, my car has taken an absolute pounding from Williams's. And once again, we're going to keep diving up the inside. We've got the inside of Giovinazzi now. And I feel like I overtake Giovinazzi a lot, but speaking of Antonio Giovinazzi, he's going to once again defend the position really close there. There's some more contact in this opening lap here as Giovinazzi does a great job of defending the position. And up the hill now we go as we fly on through here. You can see Antonio just about ahead, and he is going to maintain that advantage. You can see that the Williams car there is also trying to get into the mix there. We now try and cover off that inside line. I've spotted that threat from the Williams driver, but we're going to go up the inside of Giovinazzi here in towards first corner, take a late apex in there. Well, when I say a late apex, I mean a non-existent apex, and we secure ourselves 14th place. And unfortunately for us, though, that's only 1 place off the opening lap. On to lap 4 of the Grand Prix now, and it's taken me this long to catch up to the back of Magnussen, and the pace was not there. Really didn't have any pace at this stage of the race. I was just struggling to match these guys. I know I'm on the slower medium tyres, but I have actually, I put on quite a low downforce setup. I think I'm running 5.4 wings. And it's just not working. But anyway, with the DRS though, we've still got some great straight line speed versus the rich Haas Energy team, and we get past him in just an instant then. Obviously, as we've overtaken Haas, I do expect a social media tweet to be put out by Rich Energy saying that due to the fact that they've been overtaken by me, obviously they're going to end their title sponsorship after they probably renewed it or whatever they're going to do. But with the DRS now, you can see once again another reason why Rich Energy, their poor performance in a straight line, just not working for them. On to lap 7 of the Grand Prix though, I just can't quite clear the Haas of Magnussen. He's just stuck in the slipstream and with that DRS, and it's just so much to really carry here. He's going to have a go for it in towards turn 4 here, but we just about have the inside line there, and unfortunately, due to that, obviously Rich Energy have to once again tweet out about the poor performances there, but still plenty of time. As you can see there, we're actually low on ERS and fuel. So once again, that was another issue I was having actually. I was really struggling to manage fuel and ERS around this track. It was really difficult, and you can see the gap is now 2.5 seconds between myself and Kimi Räikkönen in the Alfa Romeo car. Traditional, well, on this game anyway, in my career mode, the Alfa Romeo is really poor in this game. So for me to be losing so much time is quite a concern, but as you can see now, I'm just trying to hold off against K-Mag, but on this occasion, I am eligible to just stay in front of him, and now I can try and control the race a little bit better. Lap 8 of the Grand Prix, at the end of it now, we've gained half a second to Räikkönen ahead, but I still can't quite get that gap to Magnussen, and the problem is to do with fuel and ERS. I'm having to run with no fuel, lean fuel mixture and no ERS in the entirety of the middle sector as Magnussen now goes for a look on the inside there. I think he made contact with the rear of my car and he just lost balance under braking there. But he's not the only one that's struggling for balance, because I am as well, but he's got a great run here through the center S's now and onto the straight here towards the skin of Delago. I think Magnussen might just go for it here on myself, and he is going to do so here towards the outside line. We once again defend the inside line, but we can control that. But as I was stating, in this entire set, look at that, I'm going to lean and then no ERS, and I've got to use all of it then on the straights to just defend, which is really troubling me in terms of my natural flow of just ERS and rich mixture enablements. It's not working, and as you can see, Magnussen once again is going to come at me for about the 10 millionth time. And look at that gap again, 2.6 seconds now between myself and Räikkönen. Granted, he's got DRS and he's chasing 3 cars ahead, but I just literally cannot get a break from this Haas car right now. And it's really costing me in this race. Nonetheless, obviously, we've got to work with what we've got. And at the moment, well, it's not a lot. But as we go in towards the skin of Delago, nothing happens there. On to lap 12 of the Grand Prix, though. Grosjean's got some sort of a problem here because we're catching him, although we've now got Valtteri Bottas in front of us, because he gently taps my rear behind, as he desperately wanted to get past me, and Good for you, Valtteri. You are now past me because I'm coming into the pits anyway. We're strapping on a set of soft tyres now. This is not going to be the stint where we are rapid. That's a fact. What we are going to be, though, is held up in the pits for a very long time. Great. But also Lando Norris came into the pits on the same lap as well, so he's going to get held up. Just going from bad to worse for McLaren in this race. We don't have the pace. We were finally closing up just a little bit on Grosjean, and now all of a sudden we've lost all that time. But like I say, this is not the stint where we're going to really be the fastest out of anybody. We're now in that phase of the race now where we're on the same tyre compound. So now we get a proper judgment, as I completely messed up Skinner del Lago there, as I don't remember how much performance I've already got. But this is going to be the stage in the race where I can really see my true pace versus these AIs, because we're on the same tyre compounds. So far, so good, because Grosjean's just in front of us, and we absolutely breeze past him with no troubles whatsoever. And once again, Gunther Steiner is going to be having a word with Romain, because I'm pretty sure I overtook Grosjean around the outside. I think he might complain. Something just tells me that he might. I don't know what. But speaking of that, though, we're still making some good progress. P12 Magnussen and P11 and Kimi Raikkonen are up the road, and Magnussen did the undercut on myself. That's why he's back in front of me. But with the DRS, even though he's got DRS as well, you can just see how much little downforce I really am running, because it's just so easy for me to make the overtake here as I go around the outside, cut him off a little bit towards there, go deeper towards the first corner, drop it into second to get that initial rotation in for the second part of the center S's, and now as we make the charge here down towards the Skinner del Lago, but we're going to have the DRS on Kimi Raikkonen, and we're just going to drop it into lead with no ERS, and I'm going to wait to the end of the next lap now to pass Kimi Raikkonen. If I can pass Kimi, there might be an opportunity for me to then pull away from Raikkonen and allow Kimi, maybe if he's too slow, to hold up the Haas cars and to allow me just to have that gap to just not be in trouble by anybody. But as you can see now, with the DRS open here, we go very tight towards the inside line here. Magnussen, I think, actually pits for a second time in this race, but we get back past Kimi Raikkonen. Lucas Weber is up the road, and there's a couple of drivers coming in for their second stops. This is now, actually, Lucas is our main rival now for this Grand Prix. I know, I just said Lucas Weber. It's a shock. He is in Karima, guys. On lap 25 of the Grand Prix, though, we're coming in for our stop now. Gasly is desperate to pass me. At the end of the day, Gasly, you can go on through, because I have no pace. So we're coming in now for our second stop. This is going to be the stint now where we're going to be the fastest. We're going to have fresh, soft tyres. Everyone else is going to be on fresh-ish, medium tyres, and we're going to have the fastest tyre compound, basically. And as you can see, we come out of the pits. We're just in front. Oh god, hiccups. Two of the Haas cars there of Grosjean and Magnussen. So we managed to avoid the potential undercut from those two. And as you can see, we managed to pull away on lap 27 of the Grand Prix now. We're running with Rich and Hot Lap. You can see we set the our new personal best lap of the race so far. 1:10.8, a half second quicker than my previous personal best lap. And now we're onto the back of Lucas Weber here. There's not really going to be much that he can do to defend this one here, because we've got Rich Mixture, we've got Hot Lap, and it's going to be quite a simple overtake here towards the outside line. Fastest first sector of anybody so far. We're going to give him a tight line in towards the Skinner del Lago and go around the outside there, and that is us up into 10th place now and into the World Championship points. And that's all I'm going to get. That's it for the end of the Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel has just won the Brazilian Grand Prix, which in that case is going to mean that he is the Formula 1 World Champion. But for ourselves, though, it's a very difficult Grand Prix. But at the end of the day, P10 is P10. It's points. That counts for something. So good job there from ourselves. And from P15 to P10, really struggled. And like I said, balance was not there. I ran with, I think, about 4 different setups. As you can see, Vettel claiming the World Championship there, doing some brilliant donuts. And for once, actually, they work, because last time it didn't. But there you can see Vettel claiming the championship, and also celebrating there in the garage with the Ferrari mechanics. If only that was happening in real life. Oh, God. But anyway, focusing on ourselves. I think I ran with about 4 different setups throughout the entire weekend to try and find something that would match my performance. And it wasn't there. I tried all things. And it didn't work. But at the end of the day, it is a 1-2 for Ferrari, though. Verstappen with a great result, splitting the Mercedes cars. Rough race for McLaren, though. It's P10 for me, P16 for Norris, who started 19th. I started 15th, so Norris gained 3 places. I gained 5, so... In the Drivers' Championship, though, with just one more race to go, the gap between myself and Max Verstappen is 19 points. Now, that's critical, because I am looking to try and salvage 5th place in the World Drivers' Championship behind Mercedes and Ferrari. In the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari have won that. They won that ages ago, so they've done the double then here today. So, congratulations to Ferrari.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. There wasn't much between you and Lucas by the finish today.
Yeah, he had a good team and car. Problem is, I do too.
That was a pretty close finish with your old F2 rival. You two are pretty competitive, aren't you?
I'm just going to be a complete dick.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
I mean, I kind of was, but I still didn't have the pace. So, at the end of the day, I breezed past him on a straight.
There was quite a lot of contact today, wasn't there?
That was because the Williams car's a plum sack, so it's nothing to do with me. So yeah.
Great. Well, that's it.
Perfect. But yeah, like I said, struggle for the performance today. But at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. We've had some races this year where we've been mighty quick, way faster than our car probably should be. And obviously we have races like this where it is a case of we just got to salvage whatever we can from what we've got. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for my F1 2019 career mode here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. If you guys have enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new as well, as it would really mean a lot to me. And the support that you've been giving on my channel recently has been absolutely amazing, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much for all of the support. Next episode is going to be the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That will be the finale as I decide to YOLO it on an aero upgrade. Don't know why. But I'll see you next time. Peace.